Hey, good morning. It is 10:20 right now. This is May 12th, and this puts us on day 23 here in Thailand. Cheap bicycle through Thailand. Um, I think I probably said something about waking up earlier, but you should know me by now. just, I'm just a late starter. I just got the sooner I come to terms that I'm just not a morning person or something. No, a lot of it's just because of the time I actually take editing, and then I want to make sure when I'm still getting over the cold, I think it's better just to go ahead and stay in a little bit later and take advantage of the fact that I have a bed to just actually sleep in. Because someone asked me about my lungs, I think I thought they were talking about my asthma, and I was like, oh no, it's fine and stuff. I think he might have been actually asking about how my lungs are because of my cold. And you'll hear I'm still coughing up. I'm very congested and stuff. It's not as infected anymore, but I'm still coughing up all that. So sorry guys, I'm just gonna be coughing the next few videos off and on like I have been. So um, yeah, that's just me trying to clear out what I still have. Like I said, it's not completely gone, but it's clearing out. Um, the next spot I actually have, I just passed Doug from Planet Doug mentioned about, I just passed through the narrowest part of Thailand on this side. They have a narrowest part on the other side. Um, and yeah, so it looks like a pretty nice national park I'm going through. So hopefully today's ride's pretty nice. But I'm going to shoot for a spot called Champon. Champon is one of the recommendations that one of my viewers, remember I said he gave me a list of spots, and I just kind of threw them down as spots to check out as I go through. But that's not for like 145 kilometers. 145 kilometers on a straight shot on the 4. And I'm not going to be straight shooting a 4. I'm going to actually go towards the coast because I can get towards the coast like almost immediately. Um, I just have to go a few kilometers down along the 4, and I'll start hitting stuff like, well, I got to be careful not to get stuck around the railroad tracks. There's not roads always around the railroad tracks, but yeah, I can offshoot on the 1048, takes me more towards the coast, but then it dips right back up to the 4, so I might as well pass that. We get down to the 1029. The 1029 is actually, yeah, so I'll do 223 kilometers until I hit the 1029, and then from there I'll actually shoot over to the coast and stay on the 1029, which turns to the 4007, which turns to the 4045, is trying to hug the coast. So if you get on the Strava, it'll be a lot easier. Just do a flyover view, and you'll see the flyover. I'm still new to Strava, but it looks like the flyover, even though it takes a while to actually watch it wind through my route, it shows the most detail of the route I actually take. And like I said, if any of you guys have recommendations for Strava, what I can do with it to help improve my viewers, like how they can interact and how I can actually interact with it more, please shoot those over towards me. Like I said, these are all new for me. So yeah, that kind of looks like what it is. And there's lots of like little cameras on the Google Maps of like viewpoints and stuff. I'm hopefully going to drop by that, but it looks like I'm going through a lot of national parks area. So, yeah, that means the possibility of camping is very, very good. Well, I mean, camping's always the camping isn't always like you can always camp. It's just it's not that hard to just throw up a tent. It's just trying to locate an area and stuff like that. And I have that standard of saying if it's like $10 or more, or less, then I'll go ahead and actually stay, in a hostel. But not everybody does that. There's one person that I would like to mention real quick. His video, he has a YouTube channel called Let's Go Cycling. Someone just one of my viewers, he actually sent me a link over on the Telegram channel, and this guy is, you guys might know him. He's got dreadlocks and stuff. He camps almost like every single night. I think he does camp every single night. But he's an awesome channel, man, and he's just right ahead of me doing the exact same thing somewhere. Maybe hopefully I'll catch up to him one day and we'll go camping. But yeah, if you guys don't know the channel, Let's Go Cycling, definitely check it out. I'll put a link in the posts and stuff. That's one of the ones I actually like. Hey, that was he's got good material and he camps every night, and that shows you. Me, I'm kind of doing the back and forth because I'm utilizing the internet and I'm trying to post every single day. But his stuff is pretty, his stuff is pretty daily too somehow. Well, anyway, yeah, check out his channel. I'll leave a link to his post, or you can just look it up yourself. Anyway, I'm gonna go, guys. I'm gonna hit the road and just start pedaling, see what there is to see out there. All right, bye. All right, it's 11:16 right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and start the Strava app. I just returned my key. Strava app started, and yeah, we're off and running. All right, guys, let's see where this day goes. I'm gonna hit this 7-Eleven and get a little caffeine in me, and then we're gonna have a little bit of the repeat of yesterday. I checked the weather, and the weather kind of looks identical to yesterday. But it did make for a good ride up to the point where it started raining. So yeah, those clouds are something to watch for. All right. I only got 0.7 of a kilometer down the street to the 7-Eleven here, and it started raining. So I ditched my rain gear a little while ago. Someone was commenting about getting rain gear. It's probably better than the plastic garbage bag I was wearing, and I did. I've had rain gear a few times. It's just I ditched it as unnecessary weight, which means I'm going to get wet. But summer rains, right? So I'm contemplating if I want to dig in and pull out another garbage bag and just throw something over. They don't have rain gear here, I already checked, which you would think they would. I think I've seen it in some of the 7-Elevens, just little cheap plastic ponchos. But yeah, so I mean, it started raining immediately as soon as I got on the bicycle. So yeah, I'll probably go ahead and get at least one little garbage bag to get the base of my clothing, keep the base of my clothing dry. Yeah. all about the plastic bag today, guys. Obviously, that's not coming from the sky. But that is right there. So yeah, it's all about the plastic bags, guys. You can get through life. All you need is duct tape and plastic bags, and you can accomplish anything in life. Well, it's really coming down on me. I'm under a little walkway, but it's the only dry spot I could find. So, yeah, the rain's really coming down hard. I'm just trying to wait it out. Hopefully there'll be a break. I got enough coverage to pull out my camera real quick and film, but just this part, I got to put it away before I get splashed by one of these cars. So, yeah, it's really coming down. Oh! I literally have never seen a cloud that dark. I see. That is crazy dark, and it's right next to me.
I'm going right into it. And that is a dark cloud. I'm gonna have to find shelter somewhere, just for a little bit. Alright, camera's going away. It's gonna dump on me. Hey, buddy. Yeah, it's coming down. I found a little spot here underneath the little patio. So, yeah, and just see what time it is. It's 2:37 right now, so it's fairly still early. And yeah, I'm just getting out of the rain. I know I'm gonna get wet today, but I kind of just I'll juggle it if it starts coming down too hard. Those are black clouds, man. Those are really black clouds. This might hang around for a bit. But yeah, what can you do? I'll just push through it if it doesn't let up real, like if it goes on for a while, I'll just push through it. The garbage bag's not doing much good. It's just getting soaked underneath too, so it's like, I mean, I guess it stops me from getting completely drenched, but that's about it. Yeah, so this is what it's going to be like for the majority of the day. Had a little break in the rain. Well, I'm hiding from the rain again. As you can see, found one of these things. And I mean, there's some holes in the roof, but it's a lot drier than standing out in the rain. And yeah, someone probably owns it. It's a beach place. But it's a rainy day, so I don't think I'm going to be fighting over spaces here. I don't think I'm going to be fighting over spaces here. Everybody probably, if there is anybody right in this area, they're probably in their rooms. So I'm going to take advantage of the fact that this is here. And look, it's pretty swell. You know, it's got bushes between me and the possible owner over on that side. It's not a big deal. To give an update, 3:58. Hey guys, it's 5:32 right now. I'm in .com, and the mosquitoes getting me, so I'm making this quick. I'm gonna try and look for a room, just because wet clothes and stuff like that. I prefer to look for a room. I'm very close to the town. It's down that way. Um, yeah, it's just none of them are listed on price for the Goda booking. So I'm seeing if I can find anything in the comments on Google Maps for anything that they might actually say this is how much it is. That's not always the case. You're relying on other people's comments to find out the price of the place. But then it just go to door, bang, bang, bang. Found one that's like 350 baht, which puts it 369, $10.50. But they're right next to the train station, like Tom suggested. Look at the train stations. That probably is going to be the cheapest one, and the ratings aren't that good, but all I'm looking for is a dry spot. Yeah, to get out of the rain and get away from the mosquitoes. Alright guys, it's gonna rain on me again, so that's the update. Home sweet home. Well, I made it to the hotel that's across the street from the tracks. And actually, it's a little rough around the corners. Woo-wee, nice and clean. Yeah, it's a little rough, but that's all right, guys. Remember, I've slept in a lot of homeless shelters throughout my life, and it doesn't matter how rough these things are. Can't compare to the nastiness that you actually see in a homeless shelter. Yeah, actually, look at all those birds up there, man. I'm not sure if you can see that. There's a temple in the background. Hold on a second. Wow, I got a lot of birds. So this is why there were so many birds in the sky. The hotel's right next to, not one, but two, it looks like. This one's one too over here. Bird's Nest farms. This is all Bird's Nest farm right here. All the way up, you can tell because of the well, you can just tell because of the way the windows are, and this one is too, right here. So you got two Bird's Nest farms, which is kind of awesome. Anyway, I just noticed that, so I had to say, oh, that's where all the birds came from. Bird's Nest farms are very popular in, well, all of them, like Vietnam, Cambodia, and yeah, and here too, I guess, yeah. So, all right, that's all. Outside patio furniture inside a hotel room, yeah. The best thing that smells in here is the black mold. And if it wasn't for the black mold, this probably still stink pretty bad. I'm not complaining. Well, yeah, of course I'm complaining, but I'm just more or less making fun. So, yeah, this one's definitely dated, but what can you do, man? When you're trying to run a business and the business just isn't working out, and you're not properly running it because it's the only business you've ever ran before in your life. You know. But then again, that's not here nor there. I'm just wrapping up for the day. Let's see. It was a beautiful ride, even with all the rain and stuff like that. It was a beautiful ride. So, hide from the raindrops and ride, hide from the raindrops. So the route I took is a beautiful route. So the guys look on the Strava app. Yeah, you'll see the route I took. Okay, well, I'm gonna jump in that shower. Hopefully, it doesn't matter if the hot water's working or not. This is the fan room. This place actually had very bad reviews. I mean, but technically, it's just what it is. It has been upkept. The guy was friendly enough at the front. The prices are listed up front, which I like, like on the wall. And yeah. I got a quick story to tell because someone asked me what my name was, and I realized I don't think I've ever actually introduced myself fully. I mean, if you watch the videos, then you would know. 1 minute. There we go. Just turn the mic on. If you watch the videos when I check in at a hotel, you probably heard me mention that, check in Daniel, Sawyer, stuff like this. But I really never passed off my name just because, it was like this started as like, just a personal vlog. I didn't think anybody would actually watch. And I knew I didn't actually introduce myself, but I figured just go by American Hobo, not a big deal. It's not like I'm trying to hide my name, but my name actually comes with a short story, backstory too. It's so although my name is Daniel, my first name that's not the name I grew up with. That's actually what you might call my business name that more or less I adopted. It is my first name. But growing up as a child, it was like my mom wanted to call me Daniel, and my dad wanted to call me Jason. Daniel from the Bible, Jason after Jason and the Argonauts, the Greek tale or whatever. Actually, after the movie Jason and the Argonauts. That's what I'm named after, which is based upon the story, obviously. So out of those two names, my mom called me Daniel when I was a baby, and my dad Jason, and it's just eventually my dad's name stuck. And not eventually, it happened fairly quickly, and it was always known as Jason growing up. My family was Jason. All my friends, and at school, I was even called Jason and stuff like this. But it wasn't until I really got into the work world where it just kind of, even at school, a lot of times it was like the teachers would ask, but you just tell them I go by my middle name, Jason, and they're like, okay, but. When you introduce yourself to your friends and stuff, it's always just Jason, so they all know. So when I started working and stuff, I just figured it'd be easier to just go by Daniel, Daniel is my first name, so instead of trying to tell the same old thing, yeah, my name's Daniel, but I go by Jason, my middle name, it's yada yada, just doing that over and over again. And I decided I'll just go by Daniel. But it kind of became a benefit because I realized very early when someone called on the phone, that's back when we had landlines, and you actually answered the phone. That was the only number you gave to your work. Your cell phone, your cell phone was always given to your friends and stuff. But if your work called you, we also had the landline. It was just one of those eras where we actually had both. It's a thing of a past, but it was a very common thing to have actually two lines, one in your pocket and one on the wall. But yeah, it became very handy because I knew when someone
would call up asking for Daniel, I knew it was either work related and they wanted me to come in to work on my days off, or it had to do with something like a bill collector, or I don't know, some professional capacity. And if, there was my day off and they're like, is Daniel there? And I'd be like, no, he's not. Can I take a message? Well, can you tell him his work called? Yeah, I'll tell him. So it became very handy knowing to distinguish the two differences. But then it just became like the work world became your life. It does. You go from school and friends and stuff like that, and then you get into the work world and stuff. Then the people that you meet and everything like that, and your friends and all this stuff, you're usually drawing from the work world. Your friends become the people that you work with and stuff like this, and those are the people you hang out with now. And since they already knew me as Daniel, I did figure not to correct it later on, So it's just like everybody started knowing me as Daniel. And so I never felt comfortable with the name Dan or anything like this. I was just like, oh, if you're going to call me Daniel, call me the full Daniel, But it just never felt like my name. So eventually it just started like, it felt, it's still kind of odd because now I look at Jason and sometimes Jason doesn't feel like my real name. So it's like one of those weird worlds where you just don't feel comfortable with it. You've been going from it by Daniel so long that now Jason feels weird, but you went by Jason for such a long time that Daniel feels weird. So anyway, you can just call me American Hobo. No, I'm just joking. Nicknames, you're not supposed to ever give a nickname to yourself. Otherwise, technically, that's not a real nickname. So American Hobo is a title, but it's a title I wear proudly any day. And you guys feel free to call me Daniel. Feel free to call me American Hobo. Feel free to call me Jason. It's all up to you, This is a page where we all make this channel kind of together, through our comments and back and forth and stuff like this. And I try and keep this as close to live as possible. Like after I'm done with this, I'm going to package it up and throw it out there. But at the same time, I try and interact with everybody as much as possible. And I talk to the camera like I'm talking directly to you guys, because basically I am. So, all right, guys, now you kind of know my name. Next, I'll tell you my social security number. That way you have all my information. Just joking. You wouldn't want to steal my identity, trust me. Yeah, there's better ones out there. All right, guys, that's it. Now you know my name. Feel free to call me Daniel. Feel free to call me Jason. Yeah, and just feel free to call me American Hobo, whatever you would like. And all right, guys. Well, now you guys see my room, know my name, and I'm gonna call it. All right, guys, peace out.